Hello, listener. My name is Noma Mdlazi, and this is Life Simplified. Welcome to this beautiful podcast, a podcast where we discuss inspirational information, we engage with one another, we learn from each other. So you would recall that the next episode was about discussing the third and the fourth part of Dandapani's book review, which is The Power of Unwavering Focus, which is his book that he wrote last year in September. So in this episode is exactly about that. We dive straight into part 3 and part 4 of his latest book. The first point that I have on Dandapani is that concentration is having mastery over awareness. This is clear, guys, because it means that if you can concentrate for a very long time, then it means that you have mastered the art of taking your awareness to one area of your mind, right? Which is very important for us to be able to achieve quite a lot of things if we want to succeed in life. The ability to concentrate is truly having mastery over your awareness, because if your awareness is distracted, then you can't concentrate. The second point is that distraction is the thief of time and energy, robbing us of precious moments and connections in life without remorse. This is so true, because if you are a distracted person, then it means that your time is wasted, your energy is wasted, and you can't really focus on the moment that you are. You can't even concentrate on any connections in life. If you speak to somebody, you are there busy trying to engage with your cell phone as well, which is just unnecessary. So distraction itself is truly the thief of time and energy, robbing us of precious moments and connections in life without remorse, right? The second point is that of when the cost of distraction is too heavy to bear, the price of focus is worth paying. I think this is quite clear as well, that if distraction costs you quite a lot, it costs you your time, it costs you your energy, it costs you of precious moments in life, then the price of focus is worth paying. At least try to focus so you could be able to enjoy each and every moment of your life. The other point here is when we take an incremental approach to developing a skill or quality, we take an approach that allows us to sustain change, right? Take note, guys, that it's an incremental approach to developing a skill or quality. You don't just wake up able to master that skill or whatever endeavor, right? But you take an incremental approach. You take time every single minute, every single day. You try to approach whatever that it is that you're doing, try to do incrementally. You don't just wake up having mastery over whatever, right? The second point is that of, like a muscle, the more you use your willpower, the more you develop it. So the more you're able to use your discipline, the more you are able to develop it. The more you can teach your brain, your mind, your awareness, where to focus, the more you develop it, the better it is. You can always focus, right? The next point here, he states that 3 methods to develop willpower. Willpower is discipline, guys. It's discipline over your awareness. It's discipline all over what it is that you want to concentrate on, right? These are the three methods described by Dandapani to be able to develop willpower. Number one, finish what you begin. In every project, whatever that you do at any given moment in your life, finish what you begin. He makes simple examples of when you wake up, make your bed. After you've finished eating, wash your dishes, right? Don't be like, no, I'm late, I'm gonna see them next time. No, just simply finish what you begin so that you could develop willpower, you develop discipline, you develop the ability to focus on what you want to do, right? Then number two, finish it well beyond your expectations. Don't just make the bed. Make sure that you finish it well. Uyenza kakuhle ibed yakho. You make sure you put in nice pillows. You make sure that the sheet is straightened very well. You finish whatever that it is that you begin. You finish it well, right? The third part is that do it a little more than you think you can. Gotta put all your energy in whatever that it is that you want to do, so you could be able to do it a little bit more than you think you can. Do it beyond your expectations, right? Those are the three methods to be able to develop willpower, to be able to develop discipline. Number one, you finish what you begin. Number two, you finish it well beyond your expectations. Number three, you do it a little more than you think you can. This is very important for you to be able to develop willpower and to just be able to finish up and finish every project that you want to do very well. The other point that is there, it says that when each moment is used intentionally, life becomes fulfilling and rewarding. This is a fact that if you teach yourself to be fully present in any experience you encounter, then life becomes truly fulfilling and rewarding. I can relate to this very well, guys. Lately I decided I don't want to own a smartphone anymore. It's a personal choice I took, and I realized now that I am fully present with all my experiences. The only cell phone I have is that of receiving and just checking messages. And I realized that with every encounter in all my engagements, I am fully present. I'm not worried about a beep from WhatsApp or a Facebook or whatever. I'm fully present with each and every moment, each and every project that I encounter, and all my relations, right? So, in other words, life to me has once again been so rewarding because I'm fully present in all my experiences, right? The other point is that establish dominance over your mind, body, and emotions. This is very powerful, guys. So many people are not really aware that it is possible to establish dominance over your mind, body, and emotions. Their emotions, how they feel, how their mind works, how their body is often distracted with what's going on around their lives. Or they can't take authority over what it is they want to think about, where it is they want to go to, how they feel. Everything, each and every emotion they have, it is due to the external world. But Dandapani says to you that it is possible to establish dominance over your mind, body, and emotions. I've practiced this for quite a very long time, and I realized that I've managed to sustain my emotions. Most of the time, I am this happy, content person, because I've learned that I've got authority, I've got dominance over my emotions, and that has freed my life so well, because I know that I've got authority on what to think about, where to go, how I feel at the end of the day. I am not dictated by social media anymore, which is very powerful. And I wish each one of us could be able to master their lives to that level where your emotions are not dictated by your circumstances. You can preserve your happiness. You can preserve and sustain your happiness for a number of days without just having breakdowns or anything, because you understand the dominance you have over your emotions. And the only time when you can be able to understand this dominance over your emotions, your mind and your body, is that when you protect your consciousness, right? Or you decide with whatever experience or you encounter whether you want to engage or you want to leave it as it is, right? For an example, I can go through social media with my laptop without catching emotions from whatever that's going on around the world, right? It's my choice. I know that what matters in my life is exactly what is in my existence. I've got the power and the authority, the dominance to be able to relate to as different aspects of life according to my own perceptions, without being absorbed from that experience, right? So I could be able to maintain a balance in emotions, right? Dr. Murphy states that happiness is the harvest of a quiet mind. So through this ability to establish dominance over my mind, body and emotions, I've been able to understand that I need a quiet mind, so at least for quite a long periods of time over my life, that I could harvest happiness. Guys, ayikho into ba xa ngumuntu uhlala uwonwebe nini awusonwabanga. You need to be able to sustain your emotions so you could be able to preserve them and be happy for some time. The purpose of life is not necessarily to always be too excited, but at least be able to maintain a level of happiness you need for you to just live contently, right? The other point Dandapani states is that developing willpower is not only about manifesting the life you want, but more important, for experiencing higher states of consciousness and ultimately self-realization, right? Which means that you can't experience higher states of consciousness and ultimately self-realization if you don't get fully present with all your experiences through developing willpower, right? So the ability to develop willpower has tremendous benefits only if you are able to teach yourself to engage with all of them the way Dandapani states here, that developing willpower is not only about manifesting the life you want. You don't necessarily need willpower to be able to get that good job, to be able to travel to different areas, have all the money in the world. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to experience higher states of consciousness and ultimately self-realization, which is exactly what we all should be hustling to get to experience higher states of consciousness and self-realization. Sonke njengoba siphila, we're hustling to get to that level of self-realization, and we can't get there if we can't develop discipline, if we can't develop willpower, right? So the other point here, he states that let each interaction on smartphone be driven by purpose. So when you use your smartphone, make sure that you do it purposefully. You go to the internet, you check for different opportunities, you go for social media for different opportunities, not necessarily to waste your time engaging with people who will demean your emotions, who will demean your character in a certain way, who will give you unnecessary emotions. You should know why you're there. You go straight laphayana, uyaphuma, and you focus on your consciousness on what you have to be dealing with right now with your life, right? So uti, if the patterns that have been created in your subconscious mind are focused, your subconscious will govern your awareness in a concentrated way. Guys, you will remember on the previous episode we discussed that there's 3 aspects of the mind, which is the conscious mind, the subconscious, and the superconscious. We stated clearly that the conscious mind is your interaction. Your conscious mind. We stated clearly that the subconscious mind is the storage of information. The fact that you know your mind now, it is stored in your subconscious mind. In your conscious mind, we stated that it is the fact that you're listening to this podcast, you see whatever that you see right now, that's your conscious mind. And then your subconscious mind is the storage of information. So this guy says that the patterns themselves that are created in your subconscious mind will govern your awareness in a concentrated way. So it is important to fix your information, to fix your subconscious mind, so that your awareness, so that your subconscious mind will govern your awareness in a concentrated way. Because if the patterns in your subconscious mind are not focused, if they are not focused, they are all over, they are scattered, then it means that your subconscious mind cannot govern your awareness in a concentrated way to give you a fulfilling life, right? So uti kengoku, be protective of where your awareness goes. One thing I was about to say before, but that be protective of your awareness, be protective of what you interact with, be protective so that ultimately you could be able to preserve your emotional state. Because if you want to be present in all these interactions that are around you, which are just unnecessary, someone is insulting you, you want to fully focus all your awareness there. Be protective. If somebody insults you, then decide not to engage. Decide to just leave, so that you try to protect your consciousness, you protect your awareness, so that at least you could be able to preserve your emotions, you preserve your happiness in the end. So Dandapani also shares a quote by his guru, Guru Deva. This is my favorite. I love it so much. I love it with all my heart. And I think so many of us, a lot of people, if they knew that their subconscious mind is such a powerful state of their mind, then they wouldn't be struggling with stress and a lot of things. So Guru Deva's quote is within this book. It states that problems are not problems, but they are patterns in the subconscious mind that needs to be adjusted, right? So it means that there's not necessarily, there's just no problems. What matters most, what creates any problem, is your perception of whatever it is. And it means that if your the patterns themselves in your subconscious mind are not thoroughly adjusted, then you will perceive every aspect of your life as problems. Uti this guy, problems are not problems. They are just patterns in the subconscious mind that needs to be adjusted. It means that yonke indo, it's a matter of how the patterns in your subconscious mind are that leads you to perceive situations as problems. So there's not necessarily no problems in life, because if your subconscious mind patterns are not thoroughly adjusted, then you'll see each and every circumstance as a problem, and you won't be able to tackle it the right way, because basically the patterns in your subconscious mind are not clearly adjusted. So that it is important for us to be able to develop good habits in the subconscious mind, so that we could be able to perceive life in a manner that helps us to be able to develop, to be able to engage with life's circumstances, and not necessarily to see every situation as problems, right? It is very important for us to be able to understand that and be able to dictate our how we perceive life itself. So the other point that is available here, it states that observation is a byproduct of prolonged concentration. In the book, he shares a scenario where he was in the car, in the bus, and he sees a couple fighting, and he noticed that other people get too absorbed in that situation, such that they catch emotions. And he states that because he himself has managed to develop discipline over his consciousness and everything, he was able to just watch the scenario of the couple fighting without being absorbed, without him even catching feelings. And I realized that is the power we have over our bodies, right, over our minds. So he was able to just observe the situation without being without the situation being absorbed in his mind, such that he catches any feelings, right? So observation helps one see the bigger picture, and because you see the bigger picture, one can make better decisions. So you can just observe other circumstances, other situations, without being fully absorbed in that situation. So if you ask your mind to do something that it does not have deeply ingrained patterns or has not been trained to do, then naturally it will require a lot more energy to do. This guy helps you guys to understand how your mind works, how your brain itself works. He makes you understand and appreciate that kakade, if you start a project, it's going to be difficult because your patterns in your subconscious mind are not used, are not familiar with whatever that it is that you want to do. And then you realize that if you've got that perception, then you can you can be patient with your brain to understand that this is what you want to do, and you are patient with yourself. You're not like, no, why am I not catching this easier, like just like the next person or anything? No, you fully focus on the fact that your brains, the patterns in your subconscious mind are not familiar with what it is that you want to do. you are not trained as yet with what it is you want to do. So you can just be patient. Then naturally it will require a lot more energy to do. So you should give yourself and understand that you need more energy to do that particular project that you're not familiar with. So the other point, he states that be fully present in all your experiences in the eternity. So live in the eternity of the moment. This is very important. We've all been discussing about this, that it is important for us to be fully present in all our experiences, to live in the eternity of the moment. So this mindset frees you of trying to engage your brain in previous experiences, previous disappointments. You're not thinking about yesterday, and again, you're not even thinking about the future, your desires, your everything. God, you're just fully present in the current moment. You're fully present in the eternity of this moment, right? So that you could be able to fully experience life as it is. And this helps you to struggle less in terms of stress, anxiety, depression, and a lot of things, because you live fully within this moment, and you invest your energy in the current moment with whatever it is that you want to fully focus on at that moment, right? There is nothing wrong with allowing awareness to travel to the past or future if it is done consciously and wisely. Overindulgence in either is detrimental. Very important. This is very important because it truly is unnecessary for us to think that thinking about the future or the past is a waste of time. It truly isn't. It is important for me as a person to look back and reflect and appreciate the life I had, and reflect on whether there's certain mistakes I'd like to fix, right? Whether I've done whether there's other things that I'd like to do differently from what I'm doing now on my journey forward, or whether it is that what it is that I want to think about my future, the kind of life I want to have in the future. So lately, I've also decided that I want to draft a vision board. I decided to do this because there's this lady, Umpumile Dwaba. She shares how important it is, a vision board, especially when it aligns with your purpose, not necessarily that it's about cars, it's about going to vacations. And I realized that I have to get this done as well for my life, because my future is more of a purposeful one, not necessarily to be a CEO of whatever company or to drive the fancy sport car, to do what. It's more of a purposeful one. And then I realized that I want to do it as well, right? Because it's full of it presents right? So there's nothing wrong about thinking about your future as a person. So utu Dandapani, overindulgence in either is detrimental. That's where the problem comes. So if you are busy, you're fully in this moment, but you're busy thinking about your mistakes and how terrible they were, or you are busy dreading about the future, you're fearful of the future, that is detrimental. So it is important that we understand that the balance between all these things, the past, the present, the future, right? But where we should fully indulge on is the present, right? We should spend most of our time within the present moment, but not forgetting that there is the past that we could learn from, that there is the future as well that could motivate us to change our actions, to do better, to be more pragmatic with what it is that we want to see in the future, right? So, uthi ke ngoku, fear and worry cripple the will and paralyze awareness. So if you are fearful and worry and full of worry, then your desire is crippled. And you paralyze your awareness at the same time, because zonke which is your willpower and your awareness, they can't function because when now you are trapped in fear or worry. Guys, let us eliminate, let us separate ourselves from fear and worry. This is very important. If you've had a painful childhood, deal with it. If you've had painful experiences, deal with it, resolve them so that you could be able to free yourself. You free your mind, you free yourself of worry, so you could live peacefully without any struggles. Just make sure that in life you on a clean slate. You can't start on clutter, or else you'll produce clutter in the future. Just tell yourself that you want to eliminate all fear and worry, and then therefore all anxiety, all depressions over your life. You take dominance. That's what we said in the beginning of this podcast, that you take dominance over your mind, body, and emotions, regardless of what has happened to you, right? So it is very important for us to understand that fear and worry cripples the will and paralyzes awareness. So we could be able to understand that we are the masters of our will and our awareness as well, right? The other point here, he states that when our willpower and powers of concentration lose their grip and awareness, we essentially throw awareness to the wolves, right? When our discipline and concentration lose their grip on awareness, we essentially throw our awareness to the wolves. So it is important that our discipline and concentration is always hangs on awareness, so that we understand that awareness we can always dictate it, right? We can always dictate it powerfully without throwing it on the wolves, throwing it on the circumstances. When are you in this situation, you describe yourself about this on this circumstance. No, you are not that circumstance. Be able to dictate your awareness so that you could dictate the kind type of life that you want to manifest at the end of the day, right? So the fear state of mind has no capability to make rational decisions. Very important. You can't make any reasonable, justifiable decisions if you are in fear. If you live in fear, forget about making rational decisions. It is important for you to calm down, you relax, you keep calm, you collect your mind. That's where your subconscious mind is able to engage with you in a better manner. The information is clearly organized, right? So you could be able to collect yourself and understand and make reasonable decisions. So it is important with whatever that situation you encounter in life. If you are fearful, then just know that you won't make the best decision of them all. Try to relax, you calm yourself, you collect yourself, and make sure that you find yourself first before you could be able to decide on whatever it is that you want to decide on. Uthi ke ngoku, by all means, do not let your awareness reenact that situation repeatedly and compound the feeling of fear in you. So do not let your awareness reenact that situation repeatedly. Do not allow your awareness to be in constant engagement with whatever situation, right? And to compound the feeling of fear in you. Whatever it is in life that is stressing you out, just try to always distract your awareness from going to that area, from going repeatedly to that area of your mind, so that it could continue gives you a feeling of fear. Avoid such. Do not let your awareness go to such situation. Just take dominance on what it is that you want to focus on, so that you don't experience a compounded feeling of fear over your life. Your level of stress is an indicator of how little control you have over awareness. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dandapani. This is very important. It means that uba uye uvumela stress to take dominance over your life, then it means that you've got little control over your awareness, and that's a weakness that you yourself have to deal with. It is very important for us to take dominance over our consciousness, to take dominance over our awareness. On the previous episode, we stated clearly that according to Dandapani, a mind is like a vast space with different areas in it, right? And awareness is like a ball of light that keeps shining in these different areas, right? So it means that whatever area the ball shines in the mind, it means that's where your consciousness is, right? That's where your awareness is, right? So if you are in a stressful engagement, then and so in that kind of situation, but your awareness keeps going to that area of the mind. It keeps going to that area of the mind, thinking about a previous situation. Then it means that you've got little control of where your awareness goes to. And what we want to be able to do here is to master our awareness. If there is something bad, be able to dictate where your awareness goes. If you know that at the end of the day you can't change it, then why do you keep your awareness going to that area of the mind where it can keep stressing you out, whereas you're supposed to be focused on this, on learning this, or doing this, or whatever that it is that you're supposed to do? So it means that if you've got high stress level, then you've got little control of your awareness, and that's what you have to keep learning, so you could be able to master your awareness to avoid all stress levels. What is this guy? Your level of stress is an indicator of how little control you have over your awareness. So the less stress you have, it means that you've got high dominance over your awareness. The more stress you have, it means you've got little control over your awareness. And it is very important for us to be able to dictate our awareness so that we could be able to control stress levels. Guys, I'm sure that sonke siyanqwenela uyekela uba abantu abanestress. So please make sure that you buy yourselves a copy of this book, learn and just engage. It's just simple stuff that we're struggling with in life that it tends to make us end up with quite a lot of problems, right? It's not big things. It's not really big things. It's just small things such as awareness, controlling consciousness in your mind, dictating it to be able to achieve whatever that it is that you want to achieve for that particular time. Because at the end of the day, if you can't control what's happening in your life, then you can't. But at least, guess what? You've got control over your awareness. You've got control of what it is that you want to think about. That's the beautiful part of it, right? The last point is that the ability to control awareness in the mind and hold it on one thing at a time is the cure for worry and fear. Lencwadi, guys, is written by a guy from the monastery, and I felt like I've been to the monastery myself just by reading this book, and I'm grateful for it because it has changed my life tremendously. He states simply that the ability to control your consciousness in your mind and hold it for a particular time is the cure for worry and fear. If you're at work, be fully present with your work. Be fully present in your work environment. Stop thinking about what happened yesterday. Yes, you will think about it, but how much you can control your brain from thinking about what happened yesterday states clearly how much control you have over awareness. So if you are in the workplace and you keep thinking about what happened yesterday at your house, and such that you can't even control it, then you become a victim of stress, fear, and worry. Guys, I'm sure that all of us, we want to free ourselves from all fears. We want to free ourselves from all stress. We want to free ourselves from all condemnation. And I want to urge you guys to get yourself a copy of this book, to experience this, so you could be able to ultimately change your life, to be able to change as a person. Kuthi kufika into ezinhle empilweni, uba rich, be able to get that promotion, but at least you've mastered the little things in life. Ayikho into ebuhlungu ebomini nje ukubona umuntu omhle onemoto enhle opromotwayo emsebenzini, and yet they are the victims of stress. Ayikho into ebuhlungu njengaleyo. And I so wish that each and every one of us could free themselves from these things. It is important for us to take dominance of our awareness, so that we could be able to be fully present in what we do. You dictate your awareness such that it's fully present in whatever that it is that you do for that particular moment, not necessarily being busy meditating on your past experiences, on your traumas, which are just unnecessary. And the fact is that, why do you let your awareness go to that area? So this guy states clearly that if they're able to live fully present, then you can free yourself from all worry and fear. That is a benefit. And at a minimum level, you're able to free yourself. With this content, Yalobudi, at a minimum level, you're able to free yourself from worry and fear. At a maximum level, then you're able to manifest the life that you want. You're able to reach that higher state of consciousness and self-actualization and self-realization. And the song is Singabantu, we want to get there. We want to be able to achieve all the beautiful things in our lives. We want to influence beautifully, right? So, but how can we influence beautifully if we're still struggling with fear, stress, worry, and anxiety? And for me personally, it is just unnecessary for us to be victims of such, because there's many of other people who are struggling with a lot of things, right? So the problems I have, I don't feel the need to nurse them. It's just not necessary for me to nurse them, because there's many other people with problems themselves. So how do they smile? How do they get on every day? How do they do that if I want to keep nursing my problems? So thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful podcast. I'm happy, and I know that we've learned so much about content yalo data. Thank you so much, guys, for committing yourselves to be able to fully engage with life. With just listening to this podcast, I know that you've got a reason. You want to be able to change your life, to be fully present with your experiences, to experience higher states of consciousness, so you could ultimately get to that self-actualization, to be able to know yourself at a higher level. The ultimate goal in life is not necessarily to have all these glamorous things of life, but it's to be able to be fully present also, to appreciate and engage with them, because like seriously, it is of a fact that even if you could wake up with driving a Ferrari tomorrow, it's not a fact you would be happy, right? Yes, you would be happy the minute you just got it, but a few minutes later there could be something else. But it is important for us to be able to stabilize, to balance the life we have with contentment and everything, so we could be able to live freely, to live fully, to enjoy every experience and esinazo, to embrace pain as well, just as Stoicism says, so that sibe ngabantu uThixo sinikeze zonke izixhobo zokuphila. Let us do it. Let us just be. Let us just fully present with all our experiences, regardless of what's going on in our lives, regardless of our circumstances, to understand that whatever it is what it is because of how I perceive it to be. It's not necessarily like that. So it means that you've got the freedom to perceive certain things in a particular way, right? Just like Guru Deva states that problems are not problems, but patterns in the subconscious that needs to be adjusted. So whatever circumstance that goes on in your life, it is your choice to see it a certain way, right? So, and that's what makes an impact over your life. It could decide if you experience that it could, whatever, how you perceive it would then result to how your emotions then go by, how you feel in the end, how you experience everything else later. So it is important for us to understand that we've got the authority, we've got dominance over our mind, body, and emotions. That is so powerful for us to understand that Singabantu, let us just be, and God gave us all this wisdom for us to just be dominant. Exactly. Thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful podcast. Live fully present in all your experiences. Take dictatorship, take ownership of your lives, take ownership of your emotions. Thank you so much. Just live your life. No, big guys. Thank you so much. Bye.